So after I reviewed Predator 1, everyone was talking about how much they were looking forward to my review for Predator 2 because they think it's so underrated and this and that. And while watching Predator 2, I totally enjoyed the shit out of it, but also what they were saying was how much Predators was terrible and unwatchable. And I haven't seen this movie since the theaters, and my memory of it wasn't great. So I didn't really know what to expect. Now, I don't use the word underrated. You guys all know I hate the word, so I'll use underappreciated here. But you want to talk about a fucking film that's underappreciated? After rewatching this, I don't know what y'all motherfuckers are talking about. I thought this was great. So, whoa. All right, let's piss off some more people here. Yeah, I was watching this and I was just like, okay. It was like 20 minutes in. I was like, this is pretty rad. And it was like an hour. Then it was like 45 minutes in. I was like, still really enjoying the shit out of this. I was like, I wonder if this is going to turn. Hour and 15, hour and 20. And I was just like, this is awesome. This is great. I'm totally into this. This is where this is where the unsubscribes come in. I thought this was better than Predator 2. Yeah, absolutely. I thought that this movie was pretty fucking rad. I don't understand the problem. I honestly think that people just hate Topher Grace. Every movie he's in, people just seem to fucking hate it. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, I mean, he's fine in this. He plays that role that he needs to in this. He's fine, whatever. The only thing I would really change about the movie, so to speak, is maybe some of the casting choices. Although I kind of liked people how they were. I guess because I'm stacking it up against the first one and kind of having those, ideals that are attached to the first movie where every guy in the movie is like buff as shit and, well, not every single guy, but a lot of them are. I guess I just want to see bigger men in this movie and whatnot, but really it didn't hurt the film, honestly, while I was watching it. But let's talk about this movie because I'm really stoked to talk about this one. Agree with me or disagree with me. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know when the last time you watched this was, but I literally just finished it like 2 minutes ago and I rushed out here to talk about it because I'm amped and I want to fucking talk about this movie because it was like all through my stuff on Predator 1 and 2. It was just like, oh, Predators is unwatchable and all this. Unwatchable? Whoa, okay. I thought the opening of this, or the non-opening, because the parachutes don't open. Okay. I thought the opening of this was excellent. Like, it just starts in action. Frickin' Adrian Brody is falling from the sky. He wakes up. Imagine that. Imagine waking up. Like, a lot of us wake up because we're falling in our dreams. But imagine waking up to the feeling of falling and actually be falling and having know what the fuck is going on. And you're trying to get your damn parachute to open. And you got to be sitting there like, this is a fucking dream. This has got to be a fucking dream. And then, like, he tries to get it open. It's like a Quantum of Solace thing going on here where the parachute, like, doesn't open till the last second. He hits the ground way too hard. He probably would have died. But whatever. It's a fucking movie. And then it's just like Predators. Like, it was just, like, intense, fucking crazy action going on. The guy's trying to get his suit open. Boom. Hits the ground. Predators. I thought that was fucking great. Love the concept of this film. I think the concept is fucking fantastic. I remember originally when I saw the, synopsis and whatnot before the film even came out, I was like, that's a kick-ass idea. Let's take the humans and put them on a planet they don't know. Now, in this film, it isn't clear on if this is the Predator's planet or if this is just a hunting preserve that they have and that they just kind of throw all these different hunters and predators and other animals and other killers on this, just this huge hodgepodge of different, foes for them to try to defeat so they can train. And that's just it. That's what this planet's for, or at least this section of the planet, if this is their planet. I'm under the belief this isn't their planet. Nobody really knows for sure, so whatever you see in this movie or whatever's said in this movie is to be taken with a grain of salt for sure. But yeah, I thought that putting them all there and having them just kind of trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And I really like the part where she like puts the little thing, she's trying to make a compass on the water and just keeps spinning. And then he says that like the sun hasn't moved since they got there. And they're clearly not on Earth. And then they walk out after they finally get out of the woods or the jungle or whatever, and they look out and there's just all these different planets and stuff, and there's like one that's like exploded out there. That visual is fantastic and would floor you as a human. Like, you would just be like, no. You would just probably drop dead. My brain wouldn't be able to handle such a thing. And we got Adrian Brody in here, which I thought Brody's pretty good because I really like his character in this film. He is fucking cold-blooded, man. He is setting people up. He's fucking using them as bait. He is killing people. This dude, like, at the very tail end, he has a little bit of a conscience, and maybe people didn't like that part, but I thought it was kind of cool. Like, he's like, all right, fine, fucking, I'm coming back. It didn't fit his character exactly, but I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to fucking sit here and gripe on it, and that's not because I just enjoyed the film and I'm trying to defend it. It's just, it was what it was. It's kind of like, okay, cool, and he came back, and then he was like, got the chick. But let's save this for the ending. Yeah, moving on. We got Walter Goggins in here. I already mentioned Topher Grace, which a lot of people hate. We got Larry Fishburne and Marshala Ali. Is that how you say his name? Fucking guy's awesome. I do enjoy the guy so very much. He was in Luke Cage, and he was in that Moonlight movie, and he's been in a lot of freaking things that are cool. He's got that like Battle Angel, right? The Attila the Battle Angel. Is that the movie? There's one of those kinds of movies that's coming out. He's in it as well. He's just a cool actor. To see him here, this is some back when I didn't even know who the hell he was. I think I've mentioned Danny Trejo's in here. So a lot of familiar faces for sure. And I like that they kind of went around the globe and were just kind of picking out different kinds of people. Like they picked out a mercenary, and they picked out a Yakuza, and they picked out like a Russian freaking soldier, and they picked out an African soldier. I don't know. I think that's what it is. And they picked out all these, all these different freaking kinds of people all across the globe and brought them and dropped them all together so that they could hunt them. I thought that was just a fantastic concept. And not only in addition to that, but they also bring tons of other creatures from other planets that are there that they're hunting, but that those creatures are also hunting the humans as well. So they not only have to deal with multiple predators, remind you, like this is multiple predators this time, and they're having to deal with topography they don't even know. They're dealing with plants and stuff that have, freaking high hallucinogenics or poison or whatever in them. They're dealing with the killers that they dropped on the planet. Like, they're dealing with every goddamn thing you can throw at them. So they got it harder than either of the last movies tenfold. At least those guys were on their planet and they were around elements and areas that they, at least understood. Especially in the second one. I mean, that was his town. He knows that town like the back of his hand. So these guys had it the worst by far. And I really like God, there's so many cool things in this. They got an infrared upgrade, which is to be expected. This is a newer film, and their infrared actually looks like infrared, which is really cool. Their, cloaking devices that they have, the invisibility, looks much, much better, but that's to be expected as well. I really like the look of that. The predators in this, there's a bunch of them, and that main one with like the lower jawbone thing on his thing, and when he pulls his mask off and he looks fucking insane. I loved the look of that main predator. I thought he was terrifying. So I love all these new predators. They got some new gadgets. One of them has a freaking drone that goes out and flies and scouts the area. They got... This movie's fucking rad, dude. I don't know what the hell people are talking about. Anyway. And she, the girl in this movie, she knows the story of Dutch. She talks about his story, and she kind of passes along some knowledge to him about the mud and everything. That doesn't all work out too well, but what it does teach him is that heat can be his ally as well. Like, instead of masking the heat, amp up the heat. And he lights that fire and he basically blinds him. And I thought that was fantastic. Anyways, but I like how when she thinks she's going to be killed by this creature that's running at her, she'd rather kill herself than be eaten by that thing. She makes that decision, like, fuck it, I'm not doing this, I'm out of here. I thought the humor in this was really good because a lot of it is like pretty racy, honestly. I mean, Walter Goggins' character talking about like how he can't wait to get home because when he does, he's gonna do so much cocaine and rape so many fine bitches. And like the exchange between him and Topher Grace, and Topher Grace is like, yeah, fucking Mondays are bitch raping day or something. Like, it was fucking funny, man. I was like, man, wow, I don't know if that fly today. So many people, I talk about that all the time. So many people are so fucking sensitive about everything. This was very R-rated. Everyone was cussing, tons of gore, tons of fucking action violence. I'm kind of at a loss for words why everyone says this is unwatchable. It's ridiculous. Anyway, where am I at? I don't even know. I'm just raving about this. Then they run into Larry Fishburne, who's kind of underused here. He's got this like Jumanji thing going on where he's been living on the planet trying to survive this whole time, and he invites him up there, and he is a scavenger and he takes advantage of them. He just wants their resources, which makes sense. I mean, he's survived their 10 fucking seasons. However long a season is there, I have no idea. It could be a week, it could be a year, it could be more. I mean, the sun doesn't even move the entire time that they're like the first few hours that are there. So who knows what a cycle of a day is? I don't even know what a season would be. Is that like when they bring in new people? Because at the end of this, they bring in new animals as soon as they defeat it, and they've only been there maybe a day. So I don't know what a season is. But he's been there a while. He's learned. He said he walked for like 3 straight seasons in one direction, and there was no fucking getting out of there. It just never ended. So then he would have had to walk 3 seasons back. So 6 seasons he spent just walking? I don't know. Maybe he walked 1.5 out and then he just said it was 3. Overthinking, as always. And yeah, as I said, they hone their craft. That they go out and they learn from this. This is like what they do to become better predators than maybe like, I don't know, like maybe what was going on Earth and all these other planets. Maybe they continue to keep doing that, and maybe like this is their testing ground, or maybe like they were over that, so they just started grabbing people and bringing them back, and this is their new way they're doing this, because we don't really know what year this was set in. But her knowing the story from 1987 so well suggests that it's fairly close to the original. I mean, within a 20, 30 year gap that she would remember a story like that. I mean, if it was like 100 years old at this point, I don't think she would know that story. So yeah, that's kind of what I assessed. And Larry makes some pretty dumb decisions here, like all these people are asleep in your house. You could have done something more to them. You could have killed them in their sleep. You could have led them on for a longer period of time. They could have helped you go out and get more resources. Like, he's learned how to live alone, and maybe he's tried before and other people have betrayed him, so he's just taking advantage of the situation. As I drop my fucking notes, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about unless I have them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I thought his decision making was kind of silly, but it was fine. I really like the dialogue. There's a lot of really good dialogue. As I said, like, there's just the characters in this movie make a lot of like interesting decisions you don't see very often. A lot of like anti-heroes, and there's that Russian guy who like bonds with Topher, and then he like comes back for him, and then Topher totally turns on his ass, and then Topher turns on everyone at the end. And Brody is so, as I said, he's so cold-blooded. He wants to leave. He keeps wanting to leave people as bait. He does bait all of them at once. That scene where he turns around, he stabs Topher up through the mouth. I mean, that's got to make a bunch of Topher haters happy right there, right? He's just like, I'm fast, and he just cuts his throat, and then but he leaves him alive and drags him out and sticks a bunch of grenades under him, and then has that guy, the Predator, lured out, just like they did to him. He's like role reversing on him. It's awesome. And then he fucking grabs and he takes a chance and he cuts down this Predator, and he's just like, you let me go, man. I'll let you go. And they do, and they accept it, and he's like, all right, I'll queue up the ship for you. And then we get to see fucking Predator on Predator action. That was badass, man, to see two fucking Predators beating the shit out of each other, and then one of them decapitating the other one. And then, in a really samurai film kind of a way, we get to see a Yakuza dude with a sword taking on a Predator in the tall grass, and they have this not big long, but a longer fight where they're going at each other, and then boom, they do that moment where it's like, who hit who? The Predator falls, and then the dude falls. It's a badass scene. Fucking yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man, this movie's kick-ass. I'm loving it. Maybe you guys need to rewatch this. I don't know. Or you're going to be like, you're fucking crazy. This was all terrible. But I don't think so. Clearly. And let's see. I said most things. I think I was jumping all over the place. A lot of homages to the first. A lot of lines from the first one. A lot of scenes replayed, like the Yakuza dude was doing like a Billy thing. Except for in this case, I mean, as much as I love Billy and as much as I love the first one, and yes, this is a different time. They had a bigger budget, this and that. But I would have loved to see, it's kind of like Jurassic Park when I talk about how much I really wanted to see that hunter dude kick some raptors' asses. Like, they kind of go towards that throughout the film. You don't really get to see him do anything. And that's the same thing with Billy. Like, when he makes that stand, it would have been nice to see Billy take a stand and give the Predator a little bit of a fight, but he just screams out and he's dead, and that's that. Like, I love that we get to see this Yakuza dude fucking grab his sword, and they have this full on fight in the tall grass. It's kick fucking ass. So yeah, that was such a cool addition to a scene that was already awesome, and they kind of expanded upon it and made it really fucking cool. So yeah, and then yeah, they fucking defeat, he defeats and he beats the shit out of this Predator. Once he fucking gets his blinded, and he comes in, he whoops this fucking thing's ass, throwing him around, he's throwing him, and he's just beating this thing, and then he fucking cuts its arm off, and he stabs it a bunch of times, and he just keeps beating on it. He's beating on him like Paul Rudd and Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers at the end of the theatrical cut. Just beating the shit out of him, and green is coming out of him, green blood. There you go, a little connection there. And yeah, maybe Michael's a Predator in that movie. Let the speculations run wild. And then he's they get together and they're holding each other, and then we see all the crates coming back down, and it's like, oh shit, here we go again, another cycle, another season, or whatever. And he's like, all right, let's get off this fucking planet. And then they go, and then boom, credits, Long Tall Sally. Best way to end it. The music is all fucking on point. It's all, original music from the first film, but kind of, changed a little bit for this one. I really don't have much bad to say about this movie. I thought it was fucking kick-ass, as you can tell. I could nitpick little things here and there and say casting decisions and maybe some characters were underused or made little decisions that I wasn't crazy about, but overall, man, there's so much more good than bad. I don't get it. But going on IMDb, it has a 6.4. So maybe my subscribers just suck. Just kidding, guys. All right. I really didn't mean that, by the way. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to bed. This movie's fucking rad. Check it out again if you haven't seen it in a while. I'm just going to keep this hand up here for a while. All right.